Success is not what you have, but who you are.
Good evening, one and all. Welcome to this momentous occasion of learning. I, Ritika Singh,
And I, Abhishek Chaudhary, the student manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management, Sri Balaji University, Pune.
will be your masters of ceremony for today. We will ensure that every aspect of this event unfold seamlessly and with utmost enthusiasm.
But before we start of the session, let me shed light on a quote. Try not to become a man of success, rather a man of value.
We would like to welcome you all to our 7th corporate session of learning from corporate leaders. Our guest for today is remarkable individual who made an impact through his corporate journey. It is indeed an honor to have Mr. Jacob Verghese, sir, who is true corporate leader and visionary.
So, for us to thrive in a very competitive world, Sri Balaji University Pune has an excellent academic program with inbuilt rigor and resilience and a process-driven approach.
We would also like to extend our greetings to our Chancellor Sri Balaji University, Professor Paramanandan Balasubramanian sir, Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. G.K. Shilpe sir, and to all our senior directors, deputy directors, research heads, faculty members, and to all our student managers.
Our university has also a vibrant ecosystem that nurtures entrepreneurship, and though our interactive sessions with corporate stalwarts, we groom ourselves for challenges in the outer world.
Discipline, dedication, determination are the three values on which Sri Balaji University Pune provides career-specific contemporary education with strong emphasis on practical training and overall development of the student.
We are very proud of our sister institutes, namely Balaji Institute of Modern Management (BIMM), Balaji Institute of Technology and Management (BITM), Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development (BIMHRD), Balaji Institute of International Business (BIIB), Balaji School of Arts and Sciences, Balaji School of Law, which produced exceptional student managers.
The prestigious Time of India B School Survey has ranked Sri Balaji University Pune as top 12 B schools in India and ranked top 4 amongst private universities. Sri Balaji University is also known for its 100% placement record as more than 300 companies visit to our campus for internship and placements. The intense grooming and the maximum learning hour record has enabled our student manager to emerge as a leader in corporate world.
Our university makes sure that we can interact with at least 200 corporate leaders. This ensures that our growth and learning get fast-tracked and we have a sharper edge over others in campus placement. On this gracious occasion, we fondly remember to our founder late Professor Dr. Colonel A. Balasubramanian Sir for his vision to impart quality education to the youths of our country.
As we deep dive into realm of learning, prepare to be inspired, uplift and driven to new heights.
May I now request our student manager, Mr. Samat and Ms. Shakaina to felicitate our guest of honor. May I now request our student manager, Ms. Ipshita Sarkar, to introduce our guest.
Good evening everyone. Good evening sir. I, Ipshita Sarkar, student manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management, Sri Balaji University, Pune. I am honored and privileged to introduce our esteemed guest today, Mr. Jacob Verghese, who currently serves as a Vice President Head of People Services at SKF India Ltd. Sir is also an accomplished author and has published a book called Employee Relation Demystified Real Life Experiences. He has extensive experience of 34 years in public and private multinational sectors, spanning over 3 decades across various sectors such as engineering, textiles, power, and infrastructure. Prior to his current role, he has worked with organizations like ABB India, KEC International, Kirloskar Oil Engines, and Heavy Engineering Corporations. His diverse background has equipped him with a deep understanding of people management and organizational dynamics. Sir has also led blue collar gender diversity and inclusion across factories for SKF India Ltd. He had handled multiple unions, AITUC, BMS, INTUC, internal unions, core competence employee relations management and coaching, and signed 19 wage settlements with various unions, trainer and facilitator, leadership development, presentation skills, supervisory development, interviewing techniques, team building, cultural transformations, and many more. Trained as an assessment center assessor and trained in appreciative inquiry. He holds an undergraduate degree in Bachelor of Science from St. Xavier College, Ranchi, furthering his academic pursuit in post-graduation diploma in personal management and industry relations from the Xavier Institute of Social Service in Ranchi. Sir is a silver medalist too. In his role at SKF India, Mr. Jacob focuses on fostering a positive relationship between management and union leaders, advocating for transparency, authenticity, and continuous dialogue. We are indeed fortunate to have such an accomplished and inspiring individual with us today. Let us warmly welcome our guest with a huge round of applause. Sir, the stage is all yours. Thank you.
काय करतोय काय करतोय इथं इथं स्लाइड चेंजर चालू करायचं चालू
It's not that by fluke you have all landed up here. There's a purpose behind the whole thing. And let's talk about the purpose of your being here. And then when you go from here after 2 years, what is it that you carry to the corporate world? So, we will do a small survey. Okay, and I hope technology will work. My team is there in the office trying to ensure that it will work. So what we'll do is that this second row, well, I don't know the number of people who can participate, but just to set the context. So those who are in the first row, okay, then we have 25 people. If you can use your mobiles and log on to minty.com. I'm doing this because I don't know how many people can participate, but this is just to set the tone for the discussion going forward. Once you are logged in, you can use this code and there will be one question which you can answer. And if, once I log in, you will be able to see your somebody just read out the code back to me. How would you describe the world around us? So those in the first row have logged in using that code. If you can just quickly give the result. Okay. So what are some of the big words that come here? Ruthless, curious, competitive, amazing. Energetic. They don't stop now. So this is one. Okay. So start putting in your inputs and let's see. Okay. I mean, hardly how many people? 30, 35, 40 people. That's the number of words we have come and it's still coming. Okay. So what do we really see from this? Forget about the words. But what is it that we are picking up from this particular question as to how do you see the world today? Don't. You sit and say, that's all. Okay. That's one thing that many people see the world to be having the similar meanings. Anything else? Perspectives. So different perspectives are there. Okay. Anything else? Different energies. Anything else? The back, people at the back. Abhi wo first row nahi hai. First row is only for that. Different thoughts, different perspectives. That's what she said. What else? the world? Okay. What else? कहाँ से आया आवाज? Didn't get your word. Process. Okay, processes. So, what we basically see is that this world is a complex place. Okay? You cannot just define this world with one word or 2 words or 3 words. When we speak to hardly 40 people, there are so many words which are coming up. Then imagine when the crores and crores of people around us in this world look at it, it's highly dynamic, it is highly volatile, it is highly complex, it is highly uncertain, it's beautiful, so many things are there. So, the corporates, the companies which exist in the world exist in a highly dynamic, complex world. Now, what does that mean? Companies, how are they shaping up themselves up today? So, if you look at companies across the world, the corporates as we call, they have certain things which are in common. So, if you look at organizations across the world today, most of the organizations are slowly moving towards being a purpose-oriented organization. Now, what is purpose? I have written over there. Positive change in the world. Earlier organizations were thinking in terms of what? What is the objective of an organization? Profit. So earn maximum for themselves. Revenue, profit, whatever you call it. In the bottom line, money. So everybody wanted to make more and more of money. But if you look at the last almost a decade, there's a huge shift that we see. Organizations are wanting to be more and more purpose-driven. Purpose-driven means to do something much more than making money in terms of impacting the world at large. So I'll just show you the purpose of few companies. Just read through. This is some of the best companies in the world. Of course, my company is the best. SKF, that's why it's at the top. Okay? Tesla, UBS, JSK. What do you really see common in all these things? Thinking for future, generally we say, how am Let's sustainability. A better world. I mean, everybody wants, yes, building a better world. So that is common in everything, and everywhere there is one word which is coming in some form or the other, which is people. So if you look at SKF, together we. So who is this together and we? It is people. If you go to Tesla, again it is saying the world's transition. The world is made of what? People. Everywhere people is coming. Okay? So, if we go back to this slide, this is what we see across corporates today. The focus of corporates are to a large extent summarized in these 6 words. Let's take each one of them. Regionalization, what is this? And why is it coming? What was an earlier word which came into being maybe in the 90s? What was it? Globalization. Globalization is still there, but a new word has come out of it. What is it? Regionalization, what is that? What is regionalization?
The regionalization translates into countries focusing on their own people, mainly countries trying to leverage the power of their people, giving them jobs, making livings more sustainable for them.
Yeah. So regionalization more so is saying that we are breaking the world into certain specific compartments for the purpose of focusing on those areas, on those markets. Okay? So let me give you an example. SKF today works in few regions, I think 5 or 6 regions. Okay? Earlier it was one global organization. That is how the global management structure was created. Now we have China and Northeast Asia as one region. We have got India and Southeast Asia as another region. We have got Europe, Middle East and Africa as one region. Then we have got the Americas. Because each region has its own specific needs when we relate it to the purpose. Do you think what is required in India and Southeast Asia is the same as in Americas? Everything is different. The people are different, the culture is different, the needs are different, their definition of everything is different. So we cannot have the same yardstick to operate and manage the entire, all regions. So therefore we have to have regionalization, and that is what most of the organizations are doing. Regionalization, and based on regionalization, localization. Okay, like for example, today if in SKF, we are not able to produce a particular product in India, we don't try to get it from Europe. We first see if somebody in Indonesia or Malaysia or Singapore can manufacture that product or supply that product. Same thing we do for our suppliers. Same thing we look at customers. Okay? So regionalization is one important thing. Second is sustainability, commonly used word now. All organizations, because they are talking about a better tomorrow, in whichever way, all politicians are talking, all nations are talking, everybody is talking about a better tomorrow for the world. So sustainability is the in thing now. All corporates are focusing on sustainability, whether it is renewable energy, whether it is circular economy, whether it is avoiding plastic, reducing on paper, reducing on carbon footprint. Now organizations are going to multiple levels. Earlier, the thought was that, okay, I will produce less carbon. Okay, so within my factories, I will use less of diesel, I will reduce use of fumes, all those things I will reduce. From there we have gone that the products which I manufacture, when it goes to my customer, it should produce less carbon. For example, the bearings that we make. What happens to the bearings? What is the use of bearings? Reduces friction. Okay? So it goes into some application, whether it is industrial application or it is going to, and wherever there is friction, there is carbon. Heat is generated, no? And when heat is generated, there is carbon dioxide, carbon which is formed out of it. So we try to make our bearings as capable as possible so that there is a minimum friction, and we talk about net zero. This is one thing. Now we are also thinking that how do we ensure that the steel that my suppliers are using come from places where there is least carbon formation, or where there is no child labor used, where there is no exploitation, where there is ethics. Sustainability is all these things together. It is not only carbon. Okay? So sustainability is another area where organizations are working. New business models. All organizations today are trying to develop new models of working. Now let me give you again example from my own company. What does SKF do? You must have all Googled. By the time they have said that I am coming, you must have all Googled. What is the business of SKF? Bearing?
Bearings, mechatronics.
Mechatronics? Anything else? No chemical. Lubrication systems? Lubricants? Okay. So, we are a product organization. Okay? We manufacture products and sell them. Now we are going to a new model where we are talking about selling services. We don't, so our people go to a steel mill or maybe a paper mill and tell them, what is your total breakdown? What is the total loss of production due to breakdowns? They say it is almost 10%. Okay? We say we will reduce your breakdowns from 10% to say 5%. What happens? If breakdown is reduced, what happens? Productivity increases. That means that company will earn more money. And we say, out of the additional earning that you make, give us 2%. Have you sold any product? Did we sell any product?
No.
We are not saying we will use SKF bearings for reducing breakdown. We may even use FAG. We may use even Timken. Because we are now into a model of saying we will give you results on your end requirement. For example, lighting companies, Philips, they went to Amsterdam airport, which was thinking about when it was being built in a large way. They said, we will increase your lighting and reduce your electricity consumption. They didn't say, we will sell you so many bulbs and tubes. And whatever you earn out of it, you have to give us a percentage. So these are new models. SKF bearings were always sold to customers, either to a OEM manufacturer or the market. Today it is available on Amazon. New model. We never thought. I mean, 3 or 4 years back, when somebody gave this idea, we said, kick him out of the company. Are we like soap and oil? We are bearings. SKF bearing, we are so proud of it. But now we are, why not? Why should a garage mechanic has to go to my distributor to get a bearing? Why can't he buy it from Amazon? These are models, and so many models are coming out. All this which you are seeing, which you are seeing today in the world, whether it is Swiggy or whether it is Amazon, whether it is Flipkart, so many new things, new models of business are coming in. Technology. What is happening to technology? What is happening? Every day something new is coming in. Okay, if you really look at the transition of industrialization, it took from first level of industrialization to come to the second, it took 100 years. Second to third, it took maybe 25 years. Third to the industry 4.0, it took hardly 5 to 6 years. And after that, it is like every day something is coming. Whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is machine learning, all these things are disrupting the world. And all organizations have to adapt to it. Nobody can be saying that hame kuch nahi hoga. We are all going to be affected by that, whichever way it is. So we have to prepare ourselves. And every organization is preparing itself for this. Diversity and inclusion. Wherever you go, there is so much talk about diversity. Diversity in terms of gender, diversity in terms of races, diversity in terms of thoughts. So it cannot say that today only people from India will work in India. There will be somebody from Germany, somebody from America. Organizations are making It's necessary that we have to learn to work together with all kinds of diverse thoughts, races, religion, all gender, everything. And it is a reality. Innovation. I don't think I have to say anything. Okay? Every organization is spending millions and millions on innovation. They have innovation clubs, they have got innovation, they go to colleges, they do whatever, but we all want some kind of disruptive new thing. Because earlier the definition of innovation was small improvements. And we used to be happy. Some छोटा सा change in a bearing, we used to talk for 5 years. We are happy. अरे हमने ये change किया. But today the world is not stopping for that. We want discrete changes. Something which can just go to the market and disrupt. The small things are not going to work. And that is why so much importance is given to all these things. But who is going to do all these things? Who is going to do all these things? That's why people are in the center. Okay? And what is the beauty about people? They are different. How? Flexible, adaptable to change. Okay, different views and opinions. What else?
Emotional factor.
Emotional factor. What is it? How do you define the potential of a human being? Is there a formula for the potential of a human being? Human beings are the only being on this world which has got infinite potential. What a human mind can do, nobody can know. I mean, how many of you are sitting here physically are walking somewhere in the US? Inside your mind, I don't know. That, I'm sure the cow and the dog cannot do that. Okay, this is one aspect of human beings, that we have got infinite capability. What is the next thing? The next thing is that people are the most unreliable beings in the world. Next moment, I will not kill somebody who is sitting here, guarantee hai? Or somebody will not kill me, is there a guarantee? Or I'll break something, or I'll throw something. Unreliable. Okay? So two things. One is infinite potential, but unreliable. Because any machine in the world, give it the right inputs, it will behave the way it has supposed to be. It is made to behave. But human being, our own child, does it behave the way we want? Our own creation. So we have to deal with these people who is in the center. Okay? Now, when we say people, now let's make it more small. When you look at it from the corporate eyes, who are the people around us? Shareholders? Are they people? Okay. Customers and suppliers? They are also people. Employees? वो तो people ही है. And society. And this is common for all organizations, isn't it? Is it that any of these elements is not there in any organization? Every organization is impacted by this, at least these four. Shareholders, customers, employees, society. Government, all these things come under the society itself. Okay? Now, what makes organizations different? If all this is same, and all of them are trying to have some purpose, and all of them are working on sustainability and models and all those things, what makes them different? What? What makes organization difference is the leadership. Where does it come? That's exactly. So their approach towards anything, the way they approach their employees, the way they approach the society or they approach the shareholders, everything is driven by the leadership. So the differentiator here is the leadership. And that is what industry wants. And my feeling is that you all are here to become leaders in the industry. Is that assumption, presumption correct? Yes. Okay, that is why you have decided to be leaders in the industry or in the corporate world. Isn't it? Now, therefore, do we understand what is leadership? And that is what we will talk about. Okay? So let's, hopefully again technology works. So we will listen to a video from Simon Sinek, who is a very renowned speaker and guide and teacher of leadership. As expected. Can somebody help?
आवाज सर बाहेर गेलो
That is not working. Put the speakers like this. Okay? Normally this is how it is. Let's do that and we'll remove this. Put this at maximum. Some setting up. Off here. So this is working. Again, you switch on the mic.
नाही माईक चालू ना वरनं बघा झालं का
Directly or this will work? Try it. तो नहीं आ रहा था
Yes. बाइक से बोल सकता है युवराज सर
Let's start this one. ऊपर वाला सबसे ऊपर वाला
बसत नसेल मग बाहेर पायात मी बसत नसेल आमचा पण बंद आमचं मशीन पण बंद पाडायला सो बाहेर चिंचवड म्हणता आपण वरती आपलं काय माहिती जपली चरचर काय येते
The first criterion to be a leader, you have to lead. Because it comes with
Sir, please.
raising a child. Here's what, that's the hard part. Getting the promotion.
आवाज कमी करा लागत ना
ये ट्राई करो ना ट्राई दैट मैक्सिमम तो करो
एकच करा सर
ओके एक ही करो लेट्स सी नॉट राइट Sounds ready.
जीजी से भी ले ले
raising a child for 18 years plus, that's the hard part. Well, getting the first criterion to being a leader is you have to want to be one, because it comes with greater responsibility. Might be, you know, it has closing hours and maybe you don't work on weekends. If you're a leader, just like being a parent, it's an all-the-time job. So if you choose to be a leader, if you choose this new lifestyle, you have to become a student. I've never met a great leader who thinks of themselves as an expert. All the great leaders I've ever met think of themselves as students. They read articles, they read books, they watch talks, they're constantly talking about it. They go out for dinner with friends or colleagues and they talk about leadership. And so you have to be a student of leadership. You have to start your education. So if this is something that you aspire to, then start reading, start watching, start talking. Well, one thing, make them work together. Shared incentives is also a part of it. Usually all we do is give individual incentives, which means we're only incentivizing behavior to work individually. And by the way, incentives don't always have to be financial. It can be just recognition and reward. You know, catch people doing things right. So when you see people helping each other and sharing, call it out publicly. You know, compliment publicly, criticize privately, in front of the rest of the team. Give people promotions when there's a behavior that you want to promote, like teaming. But also ask people to solve problems together and thank them together. And if one person comes to you and complains, I'm doing all the work, you say, well, why don't you find out maybe they're struggling, maybe they're, like, we have to push back. And also, I think the most important thing is leading by example. Asking for help. I mean, when the leader acts like they know everything and they have all the answers, then all it's doing is telling everybody else, you better know everything and have all the answers because that's how you're going to get ahead here. And so I think one of the most difficult things for anybody in a leadership position to get comfortable with is saying, I don't know, or I need help, or can somebody help me, or can you do this with me? I love teaming with folks on my team. It doesn't matter what the rank structure is, bring in someone junior, let's work together. Even if all they're doing is poking holes, you know, do you think this is good? No, I think it can be better. Okay, let me try again. So I think demonstrating the behavior that we want is a big part of it. We take accountability away from people and we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
So we're actually destroying people's confidence or ability to make decisions because we keep answering their questions or making decisions for them. I had a boss many years ago, one of the best leaders I ever had, Peter Intamaggio, and he wouldn't answer a single question I asked. It drove me absolutely nuts. Hey, Peter, you know, what should I do? Well, what do you think we should do? Well, I think we should do this. He goes, well, you should give that a try then. You know? Or he would just ask me questions. He goes, well, have you considered this? I went, no. He goes, well, maybe think about that. You know? But he would never tell me the answer. He'd always tell me the parameters. What he taught me was self-reliance. It was the most valuable lesson I probably ever learned. And very often, you know, somebody will come and say, you know, should we go with blue or green? I'll go with green. Well, we just answer the question. We'll say, go with the one you think we should go with. Well, what should we do here? Make the decision that you think is the right decision to make. You know? And then let them make the decision. And when we give people accountability, the amazing thing is, they rise to it.
Yeah.
But we keep taking the accountability because we keep answering all the questions. So there's a very easy lesson for everyone here is, stop replying to all the emails that you're getting while you're away, right? Like, I know what happens, you know, in every break or right now, you know, there's an email that says, you know, should we go with this one or that one? And you're replying. And in every break, you're going to reply to all your emails and tell people your opinion of what you think they should do. Versus saying, I'm going away for a few days for this conference so I can learn to be a better leader. Hold down the fort while I'm away. If there's an emergency, figure it out, you know? Or only call me if you absolutely do not know the answer. And stop replying to all the emails, and they now have to work. You're giving away responsibility. One of the reasons they don't take responsibility is because they don't give it to them.
Okay, gentlemen, put on the leg. So, what was that clap for? It is only for Simon Sinek. So, what did you listen in this video? What are the takeaways? Okay, leadership is about taking accountability. Now, छत के पास से, any divine knowledge coming from there? Leader should be answerable. Okay, what else? Leader should be open to ask for help. Okay, so leader should not be like God. Okay, vulnerability. What else?
Leader think of himself as a student.
Leader has to always be a student. Okay, always learning. What else? You should develop team. Okay? Leader has to be humble. Humility comes when you ask, say that I don't know something. Okay, vulnerability. He should be able to try again. And now let us limit to this video. Okay, you're right. You're not wrong. Okay? So, leader has to be a learner. That is what he said. He has to be a student. So let's, yes.
Leader should delegate the responsibilities.
Leader has to give responsibility for what? Why? By doing that, what happens? You are making people accountable. Accountability comes from that. Okay? Now,
Empowering teammates.
Empowering teammates, of course. Okay? So let's stick to it. Now, let's go for the first thing. The most important thing it starts with is by saying leadership is a choice. Isn't it? That is where it starts the video. Leadership is a choice. Just like parenting is a choice. That's where it starts the video. Maybe it skipped out because of all that technical issues. Okay. So my question to all of you is, are you here to make a choice that you want to be a leader or you want to be a manager? Okay. So that's the first thing. So if you have made the choice, then you have to have a learner's mindset. You cannot say that once I get selected in campus because Balaji has a 100% campus placement, once I am selected, I will start becoming a leader. ऐसा नहीं होता है. You have to start it today. To have a learner's mindset in everything that you do. You have to keep learning things. And how do you learn things? He said, leaders keep on talking to others, reading books, sharing thoughts. Passing the examination is only one of the elements. It is required. I'm not saying that you should all, ठीक है यार, pass नहीं, absolutely not. Minimum 60% is required. Most of the industry don't look at, touch people without 60%. But you have to have that curious mind of learning all the time. Effective leaders have to create teams. This is the biggest problem today. We are all great individual performers. But can organizations survive with individual performers? How do you learn to make teams? Does your college give opportunities? How? There are so many projects given, so many clubs are there, sports, you got cultural activities, so many opportunities. Some of us just go with the flow. What do? Participation is required. We don't participate, some marks will be cut. So we just participate. We become the tree on the stage. Participate किया. ऐसे भी participate होता है ना? कैसे participate? You are the tree on the stage. but you can also be the director of that skit. This is a place where you can actually learn to make teams. Please start learning that. It's a very big skill. Because no organization can succeed without teams. This is a fundamental truth. And the difference between the great organizations and the not so great organizations is only the difference in the teams. So there are opportunities given, don't waste them, but learn to make teams. It's a skill and you have to keep on doing it till you are in the corporate world. It's not going to stop. 2 साल के बाद हो गया, अभी leader हो गया, certificate मिला, done. It is going to be there for you, but you put in those fundamental foundations here. If you have not done it earlier, please. Many times we have got a behavior BI interviews where we ask, in the last 2 years, please tell us where you have been a leader. Many candidates who come, they don't have answers. Because we want leaders. Or did you create a team? People don't have an answer because they have all the time saying that I am the greatest in the world, therefore I alone can carry the world. Nahi hota hai. So learn to create teams, and here there are a lot of opportunities because I know this institution, there are a lot of opportunities. Please make use of it. Great leaders ask for help. Vulnerability. In SKF, our leaders are told to stand up in front of hundreds of people and tell about the mistakes that they have made. Our group CEO stands in front of the entire world, all 35,000 employees, and says, I goofed up. Sorry for that. But what you have to do is that you make mistakes, but then you earn a lot of people because you say, I am also like you. We many a times carry this myth that leader has to be invincible. मतलब leader has to be like the Great Wall of China. कुछ भी उसको होता नहीं है, डरता नहीं है, इसको कोई डर नहीं है. He doesn't fail. But when you are vulnerable and you are ready to ask for help, you make teams. Now these are all interrelated. Teams do not get formed automatically. So vulnerability is a very important trait which you have. So if you have these thoughts in you, that I know everything, please punch it now. Make a hole in that. You don't know everything. There is a lot of mistakes that you make. There are a lot of things that you have to learn, and you can openly ask others around you. Nothing wrong in that. There is no shame. That firstmentee.com, I have been using it for many years, but I don't know how to make it work. So there is a kid in my team, जिसके पास जाकर बोला, बच्चे मेरे को जाना वहाँ पे, इज्जत रख ले, बता दे कैसे करना है. And it worked because she is working in the back end. What's the harm? What happens is that she says, घर पे जाके proudly she'll say, आज मैंने boss को कुछ सिखाया. And she'll be happy that this guy, and most of us do it. So please learn this, that leaders have to be vulnerable. They don't have to, there's no harm in a leader crying. There's no harm in saying, I goofed up, I failed. Let's get up and do something in a new way. Okay. Empower others and make them accountable. But before that comes, are you accountable? What is accountability? Answerable. How do you come to know that somebody is accountable? One of the easiest, traits that you see in an accountable person, self-realization दिखता नहीं है. The visible thing.
By owning the responsibilities and mistakes.
Owning the responsibility and mistakes. Normally what do we do? Mistakes are somebody else's. success is mine. Whenever there is a mistake, what do we make a mistake, we try to blame others. बिजली नहीं था, बारिश हो गया था, car broke down, internet didn't work. Something or the other. It can be either people or things around us. Accountable people don't blame others. They try to find out the reason for the mistake and try to correct. Okay. Now leaders have to be first accountable. Then they can give accountability. Because your job is to make others grow with you. So accountability is another important thing that you guys have to learn. So stop blaming things around the world. First of all, become accountable. Later on in life, when you get the chance to work with a team, you will make them accountable because you are yourself accountable. So first, reflect. Am I an accountable person? Do I own for my actions? Do I own for my behaviors? Do I own for my success and failures? High level of accountability is what I said. I'll stop for a couple of minutes. Anything you guys want to debate on, share, counter, add to it before we go to the next slide? Yes?
What do you think is make the leader questionable?
Very fantastic question. He asks is, doesn't vulnerability, doesn't it make a leader questionable? That means if a leader says, I made a mistake, wouldn't people doubt in his leadership? That will happen if every day he is only standing up and telling that I am making mistakes. You get the difference? Every time if a leader is going around saying that I am making mistakes, after some time his credibility is lost. Very true. So he has to take steps to make as less mistakes as possible. Kitna bhi koshish karoge, it's human to err. You will make some mistake somewhere. But if you have made a mistake, share it with your team. Okay. Again, which team to share with? That's also a big learning that you have to have. So every time you make a mistake, you don't take a mic and stand in front of your 1,000 employees and say, I made a mistake. You tell that to your inner circle. बाहर के किसी को मालूम नहीं चलेगा, but your inner circle of 10 people, they will know. They will give you support. They will help you. But what you said is correct. Every day if you are saying, I am making mistakes, then nobody will keep you there as a leader. Anything else? Does it give sense? Make sense? Yes. Reflect on this. Let's see the next slide. Listen to it. Somebody can switch off the lights if you want.
Leadership is perhaps one of the most misunderstood subjects in business. Leadership has nothing to do with rank. I know many people who sit at the highest levels of an organization who are not leaders. We do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we do not trust them and we do not follow them. I also know people at low levels of organizations that have no formal authority, but they've made a choice. The choice to look after the person to the left of them, the choice to look after the person to the right of them, and we would trust them and follow them anywhere. Leadership is the awesome responsibility to see those around us rise. Every one of us, can choose to be the leader we wish we had. We lead our teams and we can lead our clients when we decide that we will do everything in our power to see them rise, to see them achieve their ambitions and their dreams. And this is what servant leadership means. I serve your dream rather than you serve my bottom line. And it's totally fine to have financial goals. It's totally fine to have metrics, because that becomes the proof of value that somebody wants to give you their money because they believe in you. It is proof positive. But the best leaders I know are students of leadership. There's no such thing as an expert leader. It doesn't exist. Like there's no such thing as an expert parent. It doesn't exist. Right? We are students of leadership. And even the most senior leaders constantly are reading books, reading articles, watching talks, having conversations all the time about leadership. They're always in learning mode. And I think for anyone who wants to be a leader, you have to choose to be a student of the subject. Like anything, if you want to be good at something, you have to study it. And the most ignored characteristic of leadership, we talk about vision and charisma. Yes, these are important. But I've known some wonderful leaders who don't have huge world-changing vision. I've known some wonderful leaders that are quiet and sit in the corner, but they all have courage. The courage to advance a vision, the courage to ignore the short-term ups and downs of the business, the courage to take risks on people, the courage to believe in people, the courage to speak truth to power, the courage to do the right thing and have integrity. I think courage is a very undervalued characteristic of leadership.
Yes, so coming to the second video, what are some of the learners? Leadership is about serving some others' dreams. Okay, that's one thing. What else? Supporting others. So another important thing is courage. Courage for what? Taking risk. To choose from whatever is available to you. The courage to choose from what is available to you. Fine? ऊपर से कुछ? Appreciating others. Leadership has nothing to do with rank. Leader must be people's person. ऐसा कैसे होता है? These are all English. People's person. Go on. Yeah, leadership. It's a student leadership. Leadership is to be always a student. Okay. Trustworthy. Okay, let's see.
Leadership is perhaps one of the most
Leadership does not come through hierarchy. What does this mean? The very powerful statement that he makes. Just because somebody has made you a managing director doesn't mean that you are a leader. And I have seen that happen in organizations. People have become general managers, people don't care a hoot about them. Because they are not caring for the people around them. They are not working towards helping the growth of the people around them. When we say people around them, it's not only their team. The customers, the suppliers. Now, why do we say SKF is a leader in the market? Anybody who is related to SKF grows along with SKF. Our customers grow. We don't do business by saying that tum nuksan mein raho, you make loss, but give us money. Our suppliers grow with us. Our employees grow with us. Now this is what leaders have to do. They have to make people around us grow and not make themselves grow. When you enter the industry, you will find lots and lots of people who are only interested in their own growth. And for that, they will do any damn thing. The choice is yours. Do you just want designations, which is easy to get? Or do you want to be a leader and lead with a legacy? You have to make the choice here. Making money is easy. By winning the trust of the people is very difficult. And people trust the leaders who are worthy of it. People blindly trust them. They put their careers at stake, they put their life at stake for leaders whom they believe will take care of them. So this is fundamental. By just becoming a general manager, vice president, whatever you call, whatever name to that designation, you don't become a leader. Now it's a choice which you have to make. Whether you want to be leader or you want to just have a hierarchy. You can just have the visiting card and keep giving everybody. I am a vice president, I am a president. But does people in the organization remember you? It's a question. Leaders make others to grow and develop. That's of course there. Student leadership is there. Leaders have to have the courage. For what? Number one, to call a bull a bull. Many times we don't do that. We see things are wrong, we keep quiet. Now you will say, how will I go and tell my boss? Courage. So in our organization, one of the important values that we talk is fearlessness. And how people define fearlessness is, meeting में खड़ा होके boss के against कुछ भी बोल दो. That is not what we are talking about courage. You have to do it in the right way. What is the right way? If the MD is there and you object to it, there is a tone and a method to say. You don't say, come on here, you don't know, I know. Listen to what I am saying. You say it in the right way. Or you meet him individually and tell him, boss, what you are saying is wrong. Let us do it this way. Because you also have to see that in the public, how do you maintain his image? That's a diplomatic way of learning, but you have to have the courage to speak it out. Second is courage to be balanced in ups and downs. COVID tested leaders beautifully because COVID was not taught in any, even Harvard did not teach about COVID. सिखाया था किसी को? That was the time when leaders were really tested. Some leaders came out beautifully. They said things are going to improve. Let's take chances and go forward. Some crumbled. Now life is having both ups and downs. It is not only success all the time. True leaders are able to weather both. They are not affected by successes and they are not affected by failures. They learn from both and still keep going. Courage to fail and learn. It's not only courage to fail, but courage to fail and also learn from that. Okay? And of course, courage to do the right thing and integrity, and courage to challenge status quo and take risk. How much of risk appetite do you have? That is to be tested in this next 2 years. Do you take risk? Do you challenge status quo? Or just because somebody has been doing it like this, you also keep doing it the same way? Or do you challenge it? Can I do it in a different way? And I'm sure none of your professors are going to stop you if you go with a suggestion. Of course, they'll give you some ideas about it. And that is how organizations have survived. Anything anybody wants to add on this? Or something which is interesting, which you felt on this slide? Nothing? Does that mean everything is rightly understood, or should I stop here? Let's see the next one.
Remember, purpose is foundational. It's not like I want to be the best, or I want to be number one, or I want to, those things are good and important, and goals are valid and valuable. But that's not the reason you get out of bed in the morning. You know, the reason your spouse loves you is not because you're the top salesperson. You know, the reason your friends rely on you is not because of your knowledge of the product. You know, purpose is foundational, and it absolutely applies at work, because who you are at home and who you are at work should be consistent. That's what we mean by authenticity. If you're different in both of these places, then in one of those two places you're lying. We want to know who you are and show up as yourself. Now, that doesn't mean we can't be professional at work. Those two are, you can still be professional and be yourself. And fundamentally, when we are ourselves, we connect better, whether it's teammates or people or customers. We connect people like us who share our values and see the world the way we see it. You know, we can't get along with everybody. And a great salesperson knows when there's not a good personality connection, that they'll actually say to somebody else, you take this one. You know, you can close this deal, I won't be able to, or you can get a better deal. And it's understanding that when we show up as our true selves, we're much better able to truly connect with people and inspire them to do the same, by the way. Remember, 100% of customers are people, and 100% of employees are people, and 100% of investors are people. And fundamentally, business is a human industry. If you don't understand people, you don't understand business. And we succeed as people when we work together. We are social animals who need each other. We need each other in hard times, we need each other in good times. And so the better we foster relationships internally and externally, this is the recipe for successful change and, quite frankly, success in anything we do.
Okay. So what is it now? What is it talking about? Okay, that is the end of it. Before that,
Maintain self-audacity. Maintain self-audacity.
maintain self,
Audacity.
not audacity, authenticity. Maintain authenticity. What does that mean?
You have to be true to yourself.
You have to be true to yourself. Okay, then what? Be transparent. Okay. What else? Keeping it real. Why is it important? Why is authenticity? Now, again, authentic leadership is a big subject which is taught nowadays. You can Google and see, there is a complete school of thought which talks about authentic leadership. Why is it? So what is authenticity? What is this word, authenticity? Original means what? You're correct. Means what? So, there is no gap between walk and talk. I am what I am. Yeah, truthfulness. I am the same at home, I am the same with my friends, I am the same with my office, I am the same with my team. This is what is called as authenticity. You will see people who put different colors at different times. What happens? What is the net outcome of this? When you are not authentic, what happens? Why should you be authentic? Come on, this is like, answer was already said. I think you are an engineer. Eh? Everything's process oriented. Life is not process. What happens if you are not authentic?
So for better connect with people.
Where is it coming from? What happens when you are not authentic?
So you are not able to connect with people properly.
Why? Why are you not able to connect? You're correct. You're not able to connect
Because
with
you're not real.
This is like egg and chicken. Why you are not able to connect with somebody? So what happens? Communication is a method. You don't trust the person. Trust cannot be built if there is no authenticity. That's the basic. Because you don't know. Usko bolu, nahi bolu, how will he take, how will not take. So, yeah. So if you are not authentic, people will not trust you. People see through you. Now let me give you this example. As a senior leader in my organization, at least 1,000 people are looking at me every day. At least 1,000 people are looking at me every day. From the fact, ये कितने बजे आता है, कितने बजे जाता है, ये कार्ड पंच करता है कि नहीं, ये मीटिंग में चिल्लाता है कि नहीं, ये प्रॉपर्ली ड्रेस करता है कि नहीं. Every small detail of yours is observed, and the more you go high up in the ladder, there are more eyes looking at you. So when I was a management trainee, passed out from college 34 years back, like you, and joined as a management trainee, who's looking at me? Only my colleagues, my teammates, the ones who joined with me. Nobody else. Otherwise, I'm nobody in that organization, no, just a new management trainee. But as I go up in the organization, everything is looked at. And that is why you need to be authentic. Why do people remember Mahatma Gandhi? Even today? Why? So the walk and talk के बीच का जो degree of difference है, it was minimal. It is not zero. Nobody, only God can be zero. Walk and talk zero. So the minimal is the gap between the things. That is where it is known as authenticity. And my dear friends, today we are living in a world of covering up everything and presenting it beautifully. We go only by the cover is what we think. But people are smart enough, they see what is behind the cover. So authenticity is something. Again, he very clearly said there is a difference between being professional. Okay? So what I mean to say is that if I walk around at home in a shorts and a t-shirt, I say कल से मैं office भी ऐसे आऊँगा, authentic हूँ. That is not what it is. In my office, I have to be professionally dressed. Okay? So that is authenticity. So a true leader has to walk the talk. A true leader has a purpose in life. Like the organization has a purpose, a leader has a purpose in life. You are now getting from a student level to a professional, going to be part of organizations, to be professionals and leaders. Sit down and think, what is my purpose in life? Please sit down and think, and that will direct a lot of your actions from today. If your purpose in life is to make money, your actions you'll start preparing yourself that way. If your purpose is to create a legacy, you will start working in a different way. So what is your purpose? And then we say that everything is done by people around. Therefore, most important capability of a leader is how to build teams. Now in this room, there are those who wants to be HR professionals, there will be finance professionals, marketing, IT, everybody is here, isn't it? All streams, marketing, so many streams are there. Many must be thinking, and I'm very sure that all these people and leadership, ये सब बात तो HR वाले का है. No. As he said, everything around in the organization and around the organization is all people. And therefore, the most important skill that you have to learn is how to lead people. I am not using the word manage people. Many times people will talk about, come and say, you should learn how to manage people. I am not using that word. I am saying lead people. How can people become your followers? How can you influence people to follow you? That is what you have to learn to become a leader. So can we sum up before I go to the last video? So till now, what are the aspects of leadership that we looked at? Always there is an examination. No? So what are the, we saw 3 videos. So what are the key takeaways from the 3 videos?
Leadership is a choice.
Let's go in a sequence first. Try to put it in a sequence. So one is always be a student of leadership. Before that, what comes? What is the first thing? Leadership is a choice. And you all have said that we have taken that choice. We have made that choice to be leaders. So next, you have to be a student of leadership. You used to have a learner's mindset all the time. So what will you do for having a learner's mindset here in the college? Always try to keep reading, learning, talking about leadership. This is a continuous way. Always leadership should be in your focus. Next. Leadership is about caring, seeing the people around you grow. That is leadership. Not how much you grew. Of course, you have to grow. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you be a management trainee and everybody becomes general managers. No, you also have to grow. But as you grow, it is not by stamping others and not standing on the head of others. By gossiping, pulling their legs, you will grow doing that also. You will make money, your designation will change, but you will not be a leader, you will not be trusted. So, leaders have to take care of the people around them and make them grow as they themselves grow. So, for growing, what do you have? What do you need in yourself? You should have a purpose. Leaders have a purpose in life. You have to have a purpose. Okay, then what else? Self-accountability. You have to own your own, what I'm saying is that you should be accountable for your own actions. You cannot blame others. You cannot blame the world around. What else? Authentic. Be authentic. Leaders should be having vulnerability. What else? Appreciating and building teams. Appreciating others and building teams. Now, all these things which I said, or you, together we learned from those videos, okay? It is not me saying, but together we learned from those videos. How do you see it happening in your life? That's the question. It's all very easy to say, be authentic, earn the trust of others, make others grow. हो गया. Simon Sinek download किया Google से, YouTube से लगा दिया. Is it happening like that? No. So how does it happen? He also talks about that. Okay, we'll close with that. So, is the clapper saying that this is the last slide? Okay, let's listen to this. Can somebody switch off the light? Yeah.
Do you love your wife? Yes. Prove it. Like, what's the metric? Give me the number that helps me know, right? Because when you met her, you didn't love her. Now you love her, right? Tell me the day the love happened. It's an impossible question. But it's not that it doesn't exist, it's that it's much easier to prove over time, right? Leadership is the same thing. It's about transitions. So if you were to go to the gym, it's like exercise, right? If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? So clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, like in a relationship, I bought her flowers and I wished her happy birthday, and she doesn't love me. Clearly I'll give up. That's not what happens. If you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day. You can skip a day or two. You know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. And the same with the relationship. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency, right? You go to the dentist twice a year, your teeth will fall out. You have to brush your teeth every day for 2 minutes. What does brushing your teeth twice a day for 2 minutes do? Nothing. Unless you do it every day, twice a day for 2 minutes, right? It's the consistency. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. So the problem is we treat leadership with intensity. We have a 2-day offsite, we invite a bunch of speakers, we give everybody a certificate, you're a leader, right? Those things are like going to the dentist. They're very important, they're good for reminding us or getting us back on track, learning new lessons, but it's the daily practice of all the monotonous, little, boring things like brushing your teeth that matter the most. She didn't fall in love with you because you remembered her birthday and bought her flowers on Valentine's Day. She fell in love with you because when you woke up in the morning, you said good morning to her before you checked your phone. She fell in love with you because when you went to the fridge to get yourself a drink, you got her one without even asking. She fell in love with you because when you had an amazing day at work and she came home and she had a terrible day at work, you didn't say, yeah, but let me tell you about my day. You sat and listened to her awful day and you didn't say a thing about your amazing day. This is why she fell in love with you. I can't tell you exactly what day, and it was no particular thing you did. It was the accumulation of all of those little things that she woke up one day and as if she pressed a button, she goes, I love him, right? Leadership is exactly the same. There's no event. There's no thing I can tell you you have to do that your people will trust you. It just doesn't work that way. It's an accumulation of lots and lots of little things that anyone by themselves is innocuous and useless. Literally, pointless by themselves. People will look at little things that are good leadership practices and say, that won't work, and you're absolutely right. But if you do it consistently, and you do it in combination with lots of other little things, like saying good morning to someone, that looking them in the eye. My friend George, who's a 3-star general in the Marine Corps, he says his test for leadership, and I love this, he goes, his test for a good leader is if you ask somebody how their day is going, you actually care about the answer. The number of times we're walking to a meeting, we're rushing, we go, how are you? Not good, I gotta get to you later, I'm late for a meeting. If you ask the question, you were standing there and you were listening to the answer. It's those little innocuous things that you do over and over and over and over that people will say, I love my job. Not I like my job. I like my job means, yeah, the challenge is great, they pay me well, I like the people. I love my job means, I don't want to work anywhere else. I don't care how much somebody else is willing to pay me. I'm devoted to the people here, and I care desperately about the people here as if they were my family. In business, we have colleagues and coworkers. In the military, they have brothers and sisters. That's how they think of each other. If you really have a strong corporate culture, the people will think of each other like brothers and sisters. It's like a family, right? No. Brothers and sisters. Deep love. Fight, but the love doesn't go away. Bicker, the love doesn't go away. And I'll fight with my sister, but if you threaten my sister, you're going to have to deal with me. Right? We'll fight internally, we'll bicker with each other, but nobody's going to hurt each other, and if anything from the outside shows up, you're looking at a unified front. Brothers and sisters. Now, how do you create brothers and sisters out of strangers? Common beliefs, common values, parents, in other words, executives who care about their children's success, who care to raise their children, teach them skills, discipline them when necessary, help them build their self-confidence so that they can go on and achieve something more than you could have ever imagined achieving for yourself. That's leadership.
So what is the whole game about it? Is it going, what did we hear about in this video? Oh, let's go to the beginning of the video. Last ka yaad to sabko rehta hai. Where did it start with? It's all about transition. Okay? Means what? It is all about consistency. He talks about the fact that going to the gym for 5 days in your whole year, will it build your body? Will it make you healthy? Going to the dentist 10 times in a year, will it make your teeth healthy? It's the 2 minutes brushing in the morning and the evening which makes your, along with going to the dentist, which makes your teeth healthy. It's the consistency which makes you a leader. And he talks about all these small things that you do which makes a leader. The small things, the hello you tell to the security guard, the good morning you say to the receptionist girl who is sitting there, the pat you give to one of your colleagues. Ask him how is your child who was having a fever yesterday. Ask him what did you learn in the last 6 months. Give him an opportunity to go for a training program. When you had the chance, you drop it and you say let him go. You pick up his call when he calls at midnight for some personal small reason. You don't keep on pestering his life. Ye hua kya, ye hua kya, ye hua kya. You give it to him, you say, please do it, bring it to me. And when he brings it to you, you don't call him a donkey. You said, you made a mistake, tell me how it can be done in a different way. All these continuous efforts that you make is what makes you a leader. You cannot just get an MBA degree from this college and get a job in Amazon and say, I have become a leader. It's a consistent journey which you want to make. And I'll stop by telling you a small incident which happened 3 days back. In our office, which is the corporate office of SKF, India, there's a pregnant girl who is our receptionist. Okay? I'm making it very specific. She comes to me 2 days back and asks, sir, why is it that so many of the people who walk in the morning, they just walk with the mobile like this? They don't even look at me and say hello to me. And she says, Mukund, whenever he comes, he stops, smiles at me and asks me, how are you? Are you okay? Mukund is the managing director of India and Southeast Asia. उसके पास कोई काम नहीं है. He has no work. He is the head of 9 countries and at least $1 billion business. But when he walks into the office, not every day, because he is traveling most of the time, but he stops at her desk and asks her, how are you? And smiles at her. This is what is leadership. So this is the expectation. She doesn't expect a big increment and a high designation and a promotion. The very fact that somebody acknowledges me is what is important. Do you say thank you to that pantry boy who comes and gives you tea in the morning? I will always say thank you to Mukund when he comes. Naya cheez kya hai? Because my appraisal is in his hand. But do I thank that sweeper who cleans my table? When that security guard at the gate salutes me, do I at least nod back at him? Do I acknowledge him? When somebody in my team has an issue at home, do I tell him, go home early, we'll take care of the problems here, don't worry about it, go and take care of your child. All these small things add up to leadership. So dear friends, as we close here, sit back at least 10 minutes after this session, because you all said we have made a choice. How many of these qualities do I have? We are not gods, we will not have all these qualities, for sure. Something more, something less, but all these qualities are there in every human being. It is only that we hide so many things and don't try to be. Just give it a thought. Because I personally want to see all of you to be real leaders in the industry 2 years from now or 15 years from now. I'm not talking about getting a job, talking about much more than passing out from Balaji Institute, you'll get a job, that is guaranteed. But after that, what happens to you, the institute cannot guarantee. So, make a choice, do you want to be a manager or a leader? This institute is for creating leaders, okay? And it has created a lot of leaders. Do you want to follow in that legacy? I just gave you some glimpses. Somebody said something? There are many other videos of Samuel Sinek. I love his videos and his simple things that he talks about. That's why I looked at that. There are so many like that. Do look at them and pick up those small things and try to put it in your daily brushing. Okay? Thank you. Now, any questions?
The house is now open for questions and answers.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Sir, I'm right here, to your right. Sir, here, sir.
Right is this idea. Oh.
Hello, sir. I'm student manager Rebecca Anthony from BITM. Sir, Sir, since you spoke about looking for more than just money, the companies are looking for more than just money. So what is your take on layoffs and cost cutting? And as you spoke about leadership, isn't it about looking forward to all the teammates in the same group instead of having one person laid off?
Okay. Very, very good question. Okay. So 2015, okay, I'll give live examples. 2015, SKF was going into a transition. There's a huge restructuring being done right from the global level. Right from the global level, our way of working was changing, and we were trying to create a new structure. And the managing director of India had a target before him that he had to lay off 200 people. Okay? And this is what he said. The choice in front of me is that 1,000 people will lose their jobs or 200 of them go today so that the rest 800 can survive. Now these are very difficult decisions that people have to make. That either this SKF India will get doomed because we cannot survive with that much of people with us. We have to become lean. Our way of working has to change. So I have to make a choice to say bye-bye to 200 people so that 800 people and their families still continue to live with us. So these are difficult choices. No leader enjoys layoff. It's a very, very painful thing. You only when you sit across somebody and so what he said is that I will make the separation of these 200 people as less painful as possible. So we had a package, okay, a severance package. We also supported them for about 6 months to get a job elsewhere. Did everybody get? No. We only tied up with some organizations which help them to get some jobs. So these are difficult decisions, keeping the larger picture in mind. Not a very happy situation. It's a painful situation for the leader, but he has to do it for the larger cause. Do I answer your question? Yeah.
Eminent sir, student manager at BIMM. So my question, I have two questions. The first question is, from your experience with leadership development and team building, how data-driven insights influence your approach to employee relations?
So what is employee relations? First, let's understand that. Now, when I sit across unions, okay, for me, employee relations is more about management and blue-collar employees. Where does data help? Data helps to have constructive discussions. So when I sit across with the union leaders to negotiate on productivity improvement, and then the amount of salary increase which can be given to the employees, there are two styles of dealing with the situation. One is, I just get up on the discussion table and say, हम पैसा नहीं बढ़ा सकते, because हमारी company डूब रही है. Okay? The second is, I put data in front of them. This is the performance of the company in the last 3 years, 4 years, whatever you say. And because this is our loss, we are not making money, I cannot give a big hike. I can give just something. Now what happens in the two cases? In the first case, it's emotions. I am saying, I am broke, I am nothing, and you are saying, I worked hard, I put my effort, company ने पैसा बनाया नहीं तो हम क्या करेंगे? Because he's a worker, no? वो तो product बनाया. The difference is, when you have data-driven discussions in employee relations, the discussions are constructive and meaningful. It is not at emotional level. And when it is emotions, it's just your emotion against my emotion. And then it leads to tussle and conflict and all those things. So if you have data, the discussions are very crisp, because data is data. Nobody can, unless, and again, it also depends upon how much of trust they have on you. If they know that this fellow has only cooked up this data, like, I'll give you an example for that. We were having a discussion somewhere, and I was crying, company डूब रहा है, मर रहा है, कुछ नहीं है. And our MD gets a new Mercedes. And it goes and stops in the parking lot. Will anybody believe that? The company doesn't have money. So again, authenticity comes there. The data which you share, it has to be authentic, you have earned their trust, then it helps in employee relations. Next question. Yeah. So my book, Employee Relations Demystified, it's a collection of 19 real-life situations which I have handled as an HR manager in various organizations. Okay? So it does not have any theory. I am not prescribing anything to anybody. Anybody who reads can make meaning out of the way he wants to make it and think, I could have done like this perfectly, because it comes from the premise that I am not an expert in this particular field, because I am dealing with human beings. Every situation is different. In that situation, I did certain things, it either succeeded or failed. I have blatantly, authentically written, I made a mistake. So absolutely no theory, no gyan. You can pick up, enjoy it like a storybook, but there is a lot to learn in that book about strategy, how do you execute strategy, how do you have situations when the ego of a leader creates a big disruption in the organization, and how leaders, because of their own ego, they create problems for the organization. How do you handle a dying employee? Somebody is on a ventilator and you have to take a decision when to pull off the ventilator tube, because it's 50,000 rupees per day expense. So one side, your boss is saying it is 50,000 per day, the other side there is a person who is dying, you have to take a decision. So there are a lot of such situations you can actually read through to understand what is situational leadership. Good book to read. Try to invest in that. Anything else? Anybody? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So SKF does not have a great percentage. We are around 10%. Okay? Target is to go to 35% by end of 2025. So we are 10%. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite our student managers, Ms. Sushmita and Mr. Somya, to felicitate our guest of honor with a token of appreciation.
Thank you, sir. May I now call upon our student manager, Mr. Jainam Vora, to put forward the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I, Janam Vora, student manager at Sri Balaji University, Balaji Institute of Technology and Management, is deeply honored to extend my heartfelt appreciation to our esteemed guest, Mr. Jacob Verghese, VP HR at SKF India Ltd. Sir, your profound expertise in HR have not only broadened our understanding, but also inspired us to think more critically and innovatively. Let me highlight a few takeaways from our enlightening session. First, leadership is a differentiator, is the choice you make. Second, it's all about consistency. As we conclude, let us take the inspiration and insights gained today as a catalyst of our future endeavors. Thank you once again.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Good evening, everyone. So, those who have not received the welcome kit, all the classes, those who are sitting in BIMM, apart from that, from other institute, if you have not received the welcome kit, go and report to